Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. So, a while back we had covered the idea of what behavior's going to be putting in soon, which is the Unbreakable and MORI base kit changes that they want to put in. Tinfoil hat, possibly to add new MORIs to the games to sell those. But they're trying to make this big update to try and add Unbreakable base kit for all survivors, but also to give MORI base kit for all killers. So essentially, you get down to this 1v1 at the end when it's the last survivor, and if you down that last survivor, then it rolls over automatically into the MORI, and then the game dramatically ends. Now, when this first came out and we first did the PTB for it, I eventually said that, well, I'm not a fan of this, I don't like this, and I tried to give some suggestions on, like, what I would prefer instead, but it was only, like, a sentence or two, and I feel like after sitting on it for a little while, I feel like I've come more around to kind of, like, a more firm idea of what I would prefer in that zone instead of what they're going to add in the current form that it showed itself to us in the PTB. So I thought through, and now that I've sat on it for a little bit, I think I have an idea of what I think would actually work a lot better in terms of an alternative for this system. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first, I want to talk about the base kit Unbreakable. Now, when I first talked about this, when the PTB first dropped and I gave my impressions, I initially hated the idea of just like having a base kit Unbreakable for everybody, because a lot of the time, if you've been slugged for a long period of time and you're playing Survivor, you just kind of want to not play anymore. You just kind of want to go next. Because if you've been left on the floor for a long time, you may just be outright bored of the match. And honestly, if you're in a situation with a killer where, you have that many people slugged, for the most part, the match didn't really go that well anyway. So you're a lot of the time, you're mostly just cool with like, oh, okay, well, that's it. I'd rather just go next. But, in the an Unbreakable scenario, you're kind of in a sense like forced to play a very, very like bleak match out, even if you necessarily do not want to. So I thought about this, and I was trying to think of like ways to remedy like having that Unbreakable chance to counter heavily slugging killers. That way, people who want to combat that can, but also meet halfway with the people who, if they've been slugged for a long time, they're bored and they want to move on. So I kind of tried to like mix an idea that already exists in the game and have it to be where instead of Unbreakable being like a guaranteed use, like you have guaranteed Unbreakable if you've been slugged, period, that just like with the hooks in the game, there is attempts. It is not a guaranteed attempt. Now, it's probably not going to be as low as like 4% for like, unhooking, right? Because essentially, if you're trying to unhook yourself without a luck build, it's essentially just giving up. And, you guys have seen that plenty. And to mixed emotions, essentially it is just giving up if you're trying to, do every single attempt on hook. So let's probably not do the 4%, but make it not a guaranteed chance. But yeah, if you make it attempts, it makes it similar to kind of like the hook situation that people can use it to try and get off hook, but they can also use it to give up if they would like. So you're kind of meeting both crowds in the middle here. It's like somebody who would still want to play might still have a chance to play, because if you've been slugged out, you've lost the chase, right? Which isn't always your fault, but you have a sense, lost in some regard. Like it is a second chance, right? It's not, it wasn't your first chance, it's your second chance. So making it attempts would allow people to potentially give up if they just don't want to be in the match anymore, and also comfort the side of people who, want to actually Unbreakable and get back into the match. And I think that makes a lot more sense to me than having it just be, because like the dark side of this, and I think I covered this in this video as well, is that like characters like Oni, characters like Myers, that like kind of have to rely on slugging a lot to like really deliver their pressure, are kind of gonna Twins is gonna just get absolutely obliterated. Twins players already have one of the lowest player counts in the game. They're gonna be gone with this update, because slugging is kind of like the only thing that Twins does well. So you can't do that, really. That's cool. Just gotta nuke that character from orbit. So, you gotta preserve some effectiveness to slugging, because some characters, for better or worse, do rely on that to have their pressure. And especially with like Twins' case, taking it away from them kind of just like blows up the character entirely. So there has to be some sort of like middle ground with the Unbreakable situation that, makes all parties happy. So that's my suggestion anyways. Now with the base kit MORI, my feelings on this basically haven't changed from when I initially pitched my feelings on it. I do think that Cypress being base kit for everybody for every match. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with just having Cypress Mori's base kit? Because like a lot of killers slug for the 4K anyway, right? Like that's already a thing they always do. And why not just like have it to be like, well, if you do that, just give them the Mori. Like give them a climactic end to the match if they are going to be slugging for the 4K, because they're going to be doing that anyway. Might as well just give them Cypress base kit, you know? A lot of people, I've heard people suggest to like give Ivory base kit, but then again, you can, that, you know, not like DS is super strong in 2022, but like you can obviously eat through DS with that and kind of end the match a little quicker. So I think like you could just save like Ivory and Ebony Moris as just like the normal offerings as like they are now. Just leave them the way they are now. If you want more Moris, you can bring them in. Otherwise, you get one, and it's only if you 4K. You get one, and it's only if you absolutely completely dominate the match and you completely 4K, and that's it. I feel like that would just be a really simple way to just have Moris in the game, but not have them, you know, every single match. But also be kind of like a fun reward, like a cool little like, hey, I got everybody, so I get a cool little animation to like flourish at the end of the match, you know? It's just like a nice little reward, and I feel like that's like way cooler, in my opinion. And also, this is a complete aside. This is like a complete aside. Devour and Rancor, give them their Moris back. Like, literally, that's, like, the fun part of those perks, and those perks aren't even that good to begin with. Like, those perks aren't meta, and they're not even that great. So, why did you take away literally the only, like, fun part about them? And this is especially confusing to the fact that they're leaving stuff in, like Tombstone for Myers, but they're just gonna gut these perks? Please just add the Moris back to those. Please, like, that's one of the most interesting parts of those, like, the interesting part about those. So, what? Don't take them away. Please, just add the Moris back in. It's just stupid. But yeah, those are my more refined feelings about what I wish I would see with the Unbreakable Mori update that's probably coming next year, is what they said, the beginning of next year. So that's coming relatively soon. It's already gonna be, it's already getting pretty close to November, December, and then the year's over. So that's coming sooner than you think. So hopefully they can take some of these suggestions and do something with them. What do you guys think about my ideas with my more refined ideas, rather, about what I would like to see in the Unbreakable Mori update? Let me know what you would like to see. But that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching. On that, I will see you when I see you.